All right, we're live. We're doing tool talk
We are
and
doing Tint Talk.
tint talk. Yeah, because we're going to talk about heat shrink battles. What do we talk about?
You guys are all done.
All done.
Yeah. Nobody's smoking anything but their films
Yeah.
from trying too hard.
Yeah. I want to hear. I want to hear arguments to torch shrinking because I'll shut them down. Fight me.
I wonder if someone's gonna bring the flamethrower. They always bring the flamethrower.
Yeah, that's a Carlos thing.
I think Avery should not be allowed to touch the flamethrower.
David, what's happening? David Weimer in the house.
He's the
He
first
wants to
one.
talk. He wants to talk about heat shrink battles. So if nobody has discovered it yet, I am going to figure this
What?
out. So they are doing heat shrink battles, and I think I'm going to make a QR code, I think. Yeah.
When is the deadline? Oh, the deadline's the 31st, so I still have time.
All right, there's a QR code in the corner. That'll take you to the Facebook page Heat Shrink Battles. And these guys are going at it. Now these guys have been practicing really hard trying to beat each other's times. So the criteria on it is that you have to do a four-door car. You got to use 35% or lighter so that they can see the dots around it. You have to show a timer in your uncut video, and you have to show all four quadrants all the way around the edge to verify that you have no creases or fingers left inside of the dots. And then you post it. Oh, and your video can't be more than 5 minutes long. And was there anything else? Oh, yeah, you got to announce the film that you're using and the year, make, and model. And it has to be a 2010 or newer. So that's about it.
Dude, I think I might go to my grandma's house tonight. Shit.
Oh, and no hatchbacks. But yeah, so that's the deal on the heat shrink battle, and every it's like all the craze, but they're basically doing it, I think, because every year at Tinner battles they have a heat shrink battle, and every year people get left out because everyone wants to participate, but yet there's not enough time to let everybody do it. So it's been a struggle. And so the deadline is the 31st. So you got about a week left. And the time to beat right now is actually, I think, 27 seconds and change. So it's a pretty good one. And the prize is an all expense trip to the Tinner battles this year. Tint Wiz is sponsoring the prize. So give it up for Eric doing it again. Big generosity. It's crazy. But, and everyone keeps asking why I don't do it. And um, I'll just be honest with everybody. I the windows that I see these guys shrink in, like a BMW X2 done in just over 27 seconds or something. I don't remember what his exact time was, but I think it was like 27 seconds. Um, it's a BMW X2, and I believe that it can be done in 20 seconds. And I mean, I got a video of me doing an Impala back window in 32 seconds, and that was just Matt Blackmer happened to, he was doing a class at my shop when he worked for me, and he I was titting a car, and he's like, these guys want to watch you shrink this back glass, because they, out of the corner of their eye, they kept seeing me shrink with a torch, so they wanted to see it. So I was just goofing around, and I'm like, well, it's going to go kind of fast. And I laid it down, and shrinking is more of a, it's, I don't know how to explain it. Shrinking is a bit of a science behind it. A lot of people, believe that you shrink fingers, but when you understand what you're doing, you're just heating as much of the film as possible to bring it back to its original form before it was processed. Because when it comes out of the whatever machinery and manufacturing, it gets stretched onto the roll. So unlike vinyl you stretch and then you heat up to lay down the curves. Tint is already stretched, so we heat it up to lay down the curves, much like vinyl, except for it's pre-stretched. So once you understand that, and you try to get the heat in all the area, you can lay tint down really fast. And the reason I like a torch is because the torch will shrink in between the fingers in most situations. I mean, don't get me wrong. When you get a window like a Dodge Charger, something a little more difficult, or a Volkswagen Golf, or even a Corvette, the tint tends to get heavy because it's bunching up a lot. So then you got to lift the film and hold it off the glass, because there's so much film off the glass that's trying to shrink. It kind of negates the areas in between. And so, but still, I use a torch on everything. I just find it much more efficient and easier. And I also don't use a glove when I shrink, because, well, my thought is I can gauge the heat without a glove on way better than I can with a glove on. If I got a glove on, I can't really monitor what the heat intensity is like in the area. And no, I don't burn my hand. Well, I burnt my hand once, but you only have to do that once with a torch. You won't do it again. So, but yeah. Oh, I'm not on the chat screen. What's up, Jamal? Darker tint, the specks are more visible. Yeah, but see, they're not worried about specs because it's a virtual heat shrink, so they're not they're actually not laying the film, they're just shrinking the film onto the glass, and that's the whole battle. I personally think that it's a good competition, but I also think it would be cool if there was a way to even the playing field, because sometimes you don't get the opportunity. Some people might get a little bit easier car to tint or shrink, and others might, you know, an Impala is a pretty easy back window, but it's not as easy as a BMW X2 or X2, not X2, 2 Series. But yeah, so there's that. Yeah, how about them Lions? I don't know. Let's take a vote. Your chat's not what?
My chat's not showing anything.
What?
On Restream. But I don't know. Oh, I got YouTube on my phone, so I can see them now.
Interesting. Okay. can put them up here, but until somebody says something, it won't show up.
That's fine. I see Chamal, Dark Side, and T Town. What's up, guys?
Yeah, Chamal says he needs to find him a nice back window to hit. Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of work, Chamal. You should jump in on this one. You got a week to get in, and yeah, like Jeremy says, reading the film. I kind of Charles, Mary's son, nicknamed me the Tint Whisperer because when I was teaching him to shrink, I apparently made a mistake and told him that you gotta communicate with the film. You gotta understand what the film's asking you for. And when you can build that relationship with the film, you will intuitively start knowing what to do instead of a lot of people when they learn to shrink, they learn the motions, they learn that you shrink fingers, they learn that this is what I do and how I do it. But until you totally understand why it is you're doing what you're doing, you might keep yourself in a box and think that this window takes this long to tint and that window takes that long to tint. Like for instance, and I'm not picking on anybody because there was a time I was probably 15 years into this and I thought it just took about 2 hours to tint a car. I thought you had to scrape every window. I thought that, you had to do a whole bunch of things that I learned that you don't have to do. Like right now I see a lot of debate about cleaning windows. Do you scrape them all or is it okay to use a scrub pad? What if I don't told you I don't do either one? And yes, I put out good tint. And I don't scrape my dishes when I do dishes at home either. And I eat off those. So when you rub your hand over a plate if there's anything still on the plate because it's really smooth. So if you're like mechanicking or you work hard, I don't work hard. See my girly hands? I got very tender hands. So when I rub a window, if there's a speck stuck to the window, I feel it. And that's what I'm doing when I rub my hand over because anything that's on the window that's just plain dirt is going to rub off with my hand, but anything that doesn't rub off with my hand is going to feel it. And so once I do that, then I squeegee the window and then I rinse the sides down and I'm done. It goes pretty quick. And I don't, I don't, I don't have comebacks. I just don't. And I don't redo windows because it turned out dirty. Because if that was the case, then I would start scrubbing and scraping windows. But I just don't. But it goes back to understanding why you're doing what you're doing. If you're just aimlessly scraping a window because that's how you were taught, but you don't understand you're scraping the window to get every little speck that might be stuck to it off, then you can say, well, how do I know that there's specks stuck to it? And if you're just aimlessly scraping the window to get every speck off, but you're not checking or feeling the window to make sure that you got every speck off, then what if your scrape pattern isn't quite right and you don't overlap just right and you miss a speck and then you tint the window and you got a speck in it anyways. So oddly enough, like I said, about 15 years into it, I had a guy that I trained and he went off working somewhere else and then he shows up at the shop and he was bragging about how he did, full cars in under an hour. And I just told him that was ridiculous. And he proved it to me. He showed me in person that I don't have to scrape cars, and I don't have to use scrubbies. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And he did the job and I checked it over and it absolutely passed and I was just blown away. And so I've been doing like that ever since. So for about the last 20 years. Hoping for the Chiefs versus Lions Super Bowl. That would be that. So I got mixed feelings on that because honestly, I think the Chiefs versus Lions is probably a more winnable game for the Lions than than Baltimore versus the Lions, just because Baltimore gave us an ass whooping earlier in the year and we beat the Chiefs. So, but I think we're a better match for the Chiefs. We kind of suck against mobile quarterbacks, and they're both pretty good mobile quarterbacks. And to be honest with you, I think that Mahomes runs more effortlessly, faster than um,
Lamar.
Lamar. Yeah, because Lamar, like when he runs, he like runs. You can see it. But Mahomes, it looks like he's fucking trotting all the time. It doesn't even look like he's running. But I'm about fairness, and well, fairness isn't the right word. I'm about the underdog. I watch just about every game every week, and my wife's always like, "Who you rooting for?" And I always tell her the underdog. I'm always rooting for the underdog, and probably because I'm a Lions fan. But either way, um, I understand that the Ravens are not the underdog if they go up to against us. In fact, they're not really the underdog against anybody this year. But the Ravens haven't won a Super Bowl, have they? Or have they?
Oof. I don't know. I don't think so.
Mahomes has like got two, so he can just sit down for a minute because I think Lamar Jackson deserves a shot. And deserves is the wrong word, but for lack of better vocabulary, um, Alex is going to do my research for me because I'm just talking.
2001 and 2013. So they got two.
Well, Lamar doesn't have any.
They're a young franchise. They started in 96.
Holy shit. Never mind. Sit down. But then again, the Chiefs don't deserve it either. And those are the two on the other side of the fence. So maybe we should just give it to the Chiefs. Like I said, it's probably a more winnable game for us. But to be honest with you, I mean, the Ravens just scared me. The good news is it doesn't matter if I'm scared or not because the Lions have already proven that they're not really afraid to walk up and smack anybody in the face. They just will. I mean, they might get their ass whooped, but they're still going to do it. What's up, Adam Green? So enough about football, unless you guys want to talk about football. But like, if you want to talk about football, though, who do we think is going to win and go to the Super Bowl? I mean, let's hear your predictions, like for real. It's okay. I'll wait. Um, no, like I don't know. Chiefs by 13. Wow, that's bold. Okay. Oh, come on, BK. The earth is flat too, right? NFL is not scripted.
It's the whole Super Bowl promo logo colors.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't know. It looks more like a blue than a purple.
I hear the excuses that it's a business, it's an entertainment franchise, and it's or entertainment business, and it's about the money. But if that was the case, and it's scripted, and it's about the colors, and it's the Chiefs and the Ravens, or the Chiefs and, or I mean, the Ravens and San Francisco, don't you think the Lions going to the first Super Bowl ever would draw a bigger audience? I mean, really? So if it's about the money, then my money's on the Lions because it makes more sense. And then I would have to put the Chiefs on the other side because the Lions beat the Chiefs in the first game of the season where nobody thought they even had a kind of a chance. And what a comeback story and how, so but then again, maybe if the Lions and the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, then maybe it is scripted. But I don't think so. I just don't. It's just not. Brock Purdy is a good story. Everyone loves an underdog story. Look, Brock Purdy is a stud. I mean, he's not a lot of things, but one thing that he is he's smart, and he's really smart, and he's got one hell of a team supporting him. It's a lot like look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a stud this year, but he's not a stud by himself, because you see what happens when you get in his face when he doesn't have time to make his reads. He makes mistakes, and he throws the ball where it shouldn't go. And it's no different with Brock Purdy. If his front line keeps him safe, he can pick any team apart, because he's accurate, but he's not like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can improvise. You getting Pat, you could bum rush Patrick Mahomes, and he does this little almost effortless sidestep where, like, it looks like a sure thing. He's got two guys bearing down on him, and the only one left on his feet is Patrick Mahomes. The defenders are behind him because he made a miss, So, yeah. Chiefs get an easier win against the 49ers. Of course, Lions only won because of a 50-yard pick six. Well, I mean, every team only wins a game because they did something right, Sean? I mean, isn't that how games get won? Or because the other team does something wrong? So Mahomes, he had a struggle at the beginning of this year. He just did. But that's okay, because that's how matchups are created. I still think that right now the Lions, they can go up against anybody and win the game. Now, does that mean that they're going to go this weekend and whoop the shit out of Brock Purdy and company? Remains to be seen. But yeah, Mahomes has had his share of bad games this year. But then again, Mahomes is basically just like I was talking about Purdy and Goff. Mahomes, as amazing as he is, he's still the sum of the value of his support around him. And this year he started out without receivers. I mean, he had receivers, but they weren't all on the same page. They had to grow together, and they've done that well. I mean, so I wouldn't say Mahomes and company is anywhere close to what they've been in years past. I just, even last year, well, last year was a Super Bowl winning year for him also. So yeah, I hope Goff doesn't throw like Love. What you mean? Love, for his first year starting, guy's a stud. He's going to help make the NFC North like interesting,
Yep.
especially if the Lions can stay on track and come back next year strong like they are this year. It's going to be interesting. The I think the Vikings and the Bears are both looking at pretty big rebuilds. I think they're kind of out of the game right now, and I really thought it was going to be Vikings, Bears, and Green Bay out of the game right now. But boy, ever since Green Bay whooped our asses on Thanksgiving, they've just been on fire. I think they're getting it figured out.
Especially for being like considered the youngest team in the NFL. They're just like, I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, if collectively they have their shit together, they're going to have their shit together for a long time. Well, at least 4 years. When contracts need to be written and salary caps exist, then it might get difficult. But we're in the same situation. Simply throw it away and try again, not to be a hero. Yeah, that's true. No, I mean, and he's not a rookie, but I mean, it's his first year starting, and that was just a rookie mistake. He should have managed that down better. They had a shot at that game. They really did. And to be honest with you, I was bummed out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think personally, I would rather go against San Francisco than to go against a hot Green Bay team, a hot Jordan Love. But I kind of wanted Green Bay to win because I really wanted to host a third playoff game in Detroit. You know, those games for our city is worth about $20 million a pop to the businesses around the place, and we've got a lot of years of catching up to do, you know, for stuff like that. And besides that, it's been a long time since we've had any sport team really relevant right now, and it looks like the Lions are pretty relevant, and looks like the Red Wings are starting to get shit done. I wouldn't say that they're ready for a Stanley Cup this year, but they're doing things. So are
We
we going to
haven't had
bet
any,
it?
I feel like we haven't had anything cool since the Pistons back in them like what
Bad boy
Rasheed
days?
Wallace, yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Wallace and Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton.
And you know, we show the world that Detroit has like the best fan base ever, but I'll tell you guys, it's just simply not true. It's a show, because I can't tell you how much everybody wanted to fire Brad Campbell, or yeah, Brad Campbell this year, and or Dan Campbell. I'm getting confused. But no, I don't.
BK wants to bet the rack on the Lions game.
Yeah, I can't do that because I don't gamble. Um, yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't do that are like very detrimentally addicting, and gambling's one of them. So I don't really do that. It gets me all worked up, and then I'm this time of year I'm broke enough I can't afford to go off on one of those sprees. But yeah, everybody wanted to get a new, you know, we got Hendon Hooker, and everyone wanted to bench Goff this year already. I mean, we haven't even lost 2 games in a row at all this year. And you know, our fan base was just out for blood. Now Dan Campbell and Jared Goff are the best thing since buttered popcorn or sliced bread. You know, it's I don't know. But we're the reality is we just don't know how to be a winning franchise, or the support a winning franchise. We just don't get it. But we're learning. Me, I've never been able to support a winning Lions team, so I'm not like hating. I know that I'm not a coach, and I'm not a quarterback. So if I can't do better, I should just sit down and shut up and let whoever they hire cook. And you know what? Right now I'm cook. It's like that in Green Bay, so probably the same to all fan bases. Yeah, you know, I think it's human nature. You know, if we could only reflect on our own lives and see that no matter how successful we are, we wasn't always successful. You know, nobody ever picked up anything hard and was good at it immediately. I can't say nobody, but nobody I know. It's just, you know, everybody had their struggles and growing pains through anything that's worth anything. You know, and I can't imagine building a successful franchise is any different. But I don't know, just I understand you got teams like Dallas, you know, last 3 years made it to the playoffs. I mean, granted, they didn't get out of the first round, but they still make it, you know. I mean, for how many years did Detroit just wish we could make the playoffs, you know?
My whole life.
I mean, don't get me wrong, what was it, 2016? I think we made the playoffs and lost, you know, and it was like one and done, and then we couldn't do it again. And then last year we almost made the playoffs, and we were hoping for somebody else to lose so we could get in there, and that's no way to be. So this year it was like, you know, I catch a lot of flack being a, a Lions fan because of the Dallas game, and Dan Campbell, he should have just went for the extra point. And I am 100% for Dan Campbell. And if that's what my coach did, then I support him 100%, win or lose. And you know what? We didn't need that win to win the NFC North. I know we could have had the number 2 seed. How cool would that have been? Oh, wait a minute. Dallas didn't make it, so justice was served, and we got our second home game. So, I mean, everything works itself out if we just keep the faith and push forward. So, come Sunday, we win or we lose. And Dan Campbell's still the most amazing coach that I've ever seen coach the Lions. I mean, but what he's built inside that locker room is something I've never seen in any team. And, it started with grit. They came out in year one. They didn't care about winning games. They didn't care about how many are we going to win this year. They cared about going out there and making a statement. And the statement they made in year one is they played 60 minutes of football. I mean, they only won 3 games, but nobody could say that they gave up in the fourth quarter. Nobody, because they didn't. And when the game was over, the other team was hurting. And they did the same thing last year. By mid-season last year, they were firing on all cylinders, winning games. And then this year, we came out swinging, carried everything from year to year into where we're at now. And they are playing as a unit. And don't get me wrong, we got our weak points. I mean, we've only had 3 drafts. And how much can you really assemble in 3 years? Looks like we're doing pretty good. I honestly didn't think the Chiefs would get past the Bills. Yeah, no, that was a good game. And honestly, the Bills had a shot, and then it just went sideways in the fourth quarter. And that's what I was talking about. You can't ever accuse the Lions of not playing all 4 quarters. Where I could say that the Bills seemed to fall a little short in the fourth quarter. It was too bad because I really thought they had that game. I really thought that they were controlling it. Same thing with, I mean, yeah. Boy, we're talking a lot about football. We should call it Football Talk Tuesday. Oh
Football Tuesday.
We only got a couple more weeks of that, so I guess that wouldn't fly for very long. I don't know though. The heat shrink battles, you guys ought to get into that for sure. There's a QR code in the corner. You can use that and get to the Facebook page and join the page, and they need to update their banner though, because they got Fernand, or I mean they've got Christopher Rodriguez at 41 seconds, but we've got a Fernand at here. Too far. Here it comes. I'll tell you in a minute. The time to be is 33:22. That's pretty. Oh wait, that's the 9th entry. Never mind. Where's this 10th entry? I was gonna say that ain't fast enough. Where is it, Fernand? I saw it. Now I can't find it. Maybe I should search it. Are you searching it, Alex?
No. I tried looking for it and I couldn't find it. I just kept getting the only one I could find that was recent was Eliu's when he before he got beat.
Yeah, and he knows he got beat.
Yeah, and you say he got beat by milliseconds. So
Media. videos. Oh, here it is. All right. We're gonna let everybody see this because why not? Just why not? We'll go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. And go.
How you doing? Fernando Sainz here, 2021 BMW Series Sedan using Max Pro window film for the virtual shrink competition. And this is my shrink and go.
So this is how it goes. And I was busting Fernand's balls when he was doing like 50 seconds, 52 seconds, something like that. And he just kept coming back with the tenacity. And on this one, there's just nothing to bust his balls about. He's just flat handling it. And the score is 26-27.
Señalo.
And
Saca
I
el de este
still,
de ahí.
and then part of the criteria is you got to go around the window to make sure there's no finger sticking through or creases. And so nice and slowly follow that line around. Then come over here, follow it the rest of the way around. Everything is inside of those dots or outside of those dots. And that's a good shrink. So that's the winning time right now, 26-27. How impressive is that? I mean, don't get me wrong. That's oh, go away, stop. Oh, it's making noises in my ears. But that's definitely
There's some really nice ones on there. That car should not count though. They say 4-door car, 2010 or older.
no, it's got to be 2010 or newer, and that's a 2020. I don't know. But that is a 4-door. It's a 2 Series, but it's a 4-door. I was thinking the same thing, and so I was looking and I was going to feel bad, but if you we don't have a good picture of it. But if you look back over the video, you'll see in one of the camera angles you can see both the front and the rear door. Cuz I was thinking, isn't that a 2-door car? And so I checked that out cuz I'm busting balls. I it's a big prize. I mean, a full expense, all expense paid trip to the tinner battles. That's kind of big. So like nobody should get in with a finger poking through or a crease in the corner. Or none of that stuff. It should be, I mean, it's just, I don't know how much an all expense trip is, but I'm pretty sure he's covering hotel and all the stuff. So got to be close to $1,000, right?
Damn. Sorry, babe. We gotta go.
What do you mean you got to go?
It was just my head's getting big. I'm like imagining if I won this thing, what do I tell my wife?
Oh, you're gonna shrink a back window in less than 20. How many seconds was it? 26?
I'm gonna shoot for 20 seconds.
I think it can be done in 20 seconds. In fact, I'm sure of it.
I don't know. I have lots of doubts that I could do that, but I've surprised myself with some things before. So I don't know. I got a lot of film. I wonder if I should bring my film inside for a little bit, bring it to room temperature.
It wouldn't hurt to do that before you use it, but I mean, it's fine out there. You should at least let the piece that you put on the back window get to room temperature before you shrink it. Because if it's frozen, and yeah, we got to endure some freezing rain and sleet this morning. It was good. It was
I
fun.
had a real fun time doing an interior detail over the weekend where anything that I sprayed onto the car instantly turned to ice.
So you didn't
And
let the car warm up first?
I tried, I just couldn't wait anymore. It was like over an hour and a half, and it was just still so cold. And the funny thing is, um, I got my shampooer out and I put the shampoo on and I'm scrubbing and I go to vacuum it up and my thing clogged up and sometimes if you like bump into it, it stops sucking. So maybe I thought like I tap it a couple times and it would get going and then it did it. And then I'm like looking at my thing and I'm like, what's this white stuff? And I like beat it out of there and snow's just falling out. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I go to vacuum again. Yeah, all the shampoo I'm vacuuming up instantly turns into snow as it's vacuuming up. So I was like, oh, that's a thing. It was so stupid. My torpedo heater could not keep up with the garage. It was a mess.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was bad. He
Well,
had a two-story garage with no walls. Well, I mean, there's plywood.
oh, okay. I thought you were in your grandma's garage. So
No.
yeah, I mean, you get bigger like that, then you're gonna start struggling.
Hey, what's
That's
up,
too
Rick
bad.
Common?
Mr. Tallman, what's up? Mr. Tallman should get in on this heat shrink battle, but you know, he probably doesn't tint that much anymore. Something tells me he's too busy hang gliding, which I mean, don't get me wrong, it sounds like way more fun. I don't know. I haven't. This has been such a hard winter that I haven't been jeeping since October. Starting to get to me. I even had an opportunity this past Saturday, and it was cold outside. I was like, no, let me just stay home and watch football.
I don't even know how much football I'm going to be able to watch on Sunday because it's my wife's birthday.
Oh, tell her to reschedule.
Yeah. Well, her whole family already canceled their plans for her birthday. They're like, yeah, we're not going to Frankenmuth. Sorry.
Tell them bullshit. Go to Frankenmuth and take Casey and the baby too. Or just tell the wife, you know what? I tell you what, honey, I am 100% yours for your birthday until 3:00.
Birthday dinner at B-Dubs.
There you go. You might want to download the Odyssey app, Alex, and get you a headset. Oh, you got headphones. You could probably get one to pair.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And just stick that sucker in there and listen to the game. It'll be fine. Although when you get excited at the wrong time, they'll probably know something's up. You know, that's one of the best things about having YouTube TV also, you know, that a lot of people don't think about. But if I have to go out and about, my phone's always with me and I can watch whatever on my phone if I feel I need to.
I still do that with my expensive Hulu. So I got the like Hulu, but it's like $80 and it's like cable.
Oh, okay. So basically the same thing.
Which is dumb because at first I got Peacock and it seemed like I watched some of the games on Hulu and some of the games on Peacock, but then I discovered all the games are actually on Hulu. So I got
Rick says he's already signed up for Tinner battles. It was like 12 degrees there. Yeah, I know, the whole fucking world got cold for a minute. And then he's tinting every week, so he's not rusty. I'm not rusty either, but I don't tint every week. I just I don't know. It's so ingrained in me when I go have to tint something, it just doesn't feel any different. I don't know. I think I want to do a little episode. It's just today wasn't the day. It's like I said, we've had freezing rain and shit. We're supposed to get into the 40s the rest of the week, so we're gonna just let 40s do what 40s does. So maybe I can get a chance, and who knows, maybe next week we'll get something in here, and I'll go over some different shrinking techniques and the hows and the whys of everything that the hows and whys of the shrinking, and maybe you can pick up something off me, maybe you can't, but with a little luck and a little optimism, I am sure that there is something in your skill set that can improve off of watching somebody else with my skill set. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but I am saying I'm different, and I am good at what I do. And that's not bragging. It's just, in fact, I don't know. Can I find it? Is it here? Oh wait, I can find it. Hold on. I can do this. Where is it? Where is it? It's here somewhere. These. All right, let me search the group. Okay.
What's up, Garrett? How you doing? Oh.
Okay, so this is me a few years ago, about 6 years ago. But like I said, Matt just decided he wanted to videotape me, and this is one of the girls that was in his class over at my shop. This is my shop in the background, by the way. But so this is me shrinking. I'm pretty sure that was an Impala back glass.
Quick.
Now watch this. This is my favorite part. How was that? So like I said, I'm good at what I do. I've been doing it for fucking forever. And I'm not a guy that has been tinting for 30 plus years, and I tint, 5 or 6 cars a week. I was tinting 100 cars a week for years. And I wasn't tinting 100 cars a week because we were a high volume shop that made no money on tint. We were killing it. We were doing, I we were doing close to $1 million in wholesale tint a year. Just a small group of us. So, like, you find ways to get more efficient. I was brought into the tint industry in 1989, and back then we were taught that it's an art, and so I always maintain that aspect of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, we got a plotter at the shop now, and but we don't push speed, we don't push production, we push dollars. We rather do $500 tint jobs than 4 cars a day. But don't get me wrong, we're not scared to do 8 to 12 cars a day. It's just there's no reason to push it if there's no reason to push it. During the COVID free money time, we were pushing it. We were booked out 5, 6, 7 weeks, and we were doing 8 to 12 cars a day, with just one tinner. So, I mean, it's just part of, take it when it's there. But we don't get comebacks. People don't come back and say, hey, I don't like the way this looks. And other shops don't talk bad about us. In fact, when I started my business, we were at about $165 for a complete area wide. But we got so big, and we had 16 different accounts that we went to. And because we were charging wholesale prices and everybody had to make money at $165 a car, and them making money, the shops making money off of us, there wasn't enough left for us. So we had to raise the price. And doing the kind of volume we did for as long as we did, and charging what we did so that everybody could make money, all the shops around us started following us up, because they couldn't be like, oh yeah, you can go over there, but the job's going to be shit, because they had nothing bad to talk about. If I didn't use a tinner if they had more than a 2% comeback rate, I didn't, 2%, I understand that's 2 out of 100 windows. You would think, oh, that's not bad. It's bad. It's bad. There's no reason for it. That car needs to go out the door and not come back unless they want to. Oh, I wish I would have got a windshield strip while I was gone, or a set of doors on an SUV. Oh, I want to do the rear half now, or whatever. It's just 2% or less, and 2% you are getting a talking to from me, letting you know that we do better. And my comeback rate was, I would say, probably about 0.5%. And that was just because every now and again you tuck the film and you don't realize the corner didn't set. And when the customer rolls the window down, it might peel. It happens here and there. And I know if you bottom load and you take the door panel apart and all that stuff, you don't get any peeling edges ever. That's cool. If you don't take the door panel apart, you don't break anything ever. It's just true. And I know there's guys out there, I've been taking door panels apart, for 15 years and I've never broke anything. Good for you. I learned taking door panels apart, and that was when door panels weren't meant to come apart. And so things broke. So I learned how to do a good job without taking them apart. And I also learned that, if you get really efficient doing your job and those things, then Jeremy's like, I break shit on a regular. That's because you can't slow down. I love Jeremy. He's my favorite, I think. But no, for real though, it's all a matter of preference, because I know a lot of guys that pull sweeps and bottom load, or are looking for different tools like the B-load tool, which I don't have a B-load tool here, but I do have this thing, and I don't use it. It's a food chopper. We won't get into that, but it's cool. I mean, the reality is what we're doing is a business. And if you're making money and you enjoy what you do, you're doing it right. It doesn't matter if you're doing it my way. It doesn't matter if you're doing it somebody else's way. I can tell you why I don't do certain things certain ways. I mean, I tried doing the bottom loading thing, but after 30 years of not bottom loading, it felt like I was trying to throw a baseball left-handed. It just wasn't going to work. So, well, look at that. We are getting close to an hour. You guys rock. Are we? Oh my God, 5 minutes to go. What the hell happened? I swear to God, we just started. Although I am on like my 3rd or 4th cigarette, so I don't. Maybe it's time.
Oh, it's probably time.
What are you beating on? I think your noise suppressor's turned off.
No, it's on.
I can hear all your clickers, all your clicking, all your fidgeting. Yeah. So it ain't working. You don't have your audio routed right. I mean, it's been fine because you haven't been fidgety, but now all of a sudden you're fidgety and I can hear everything. Yep. No, mine's working. See? No background noise. But like you said, your settings were all jacked up when you started, so it's probably just if you go in to the restream audio settings, it's probably just not looking at it's probably looking at your microphone or something.
Probably.
As long as it's a T-Twan. Oh, town. I like Twan. I think Twan's good. T-Twan. We should make t-shirts. T-Twan.
Oh, there we go.
You fixed it? You sound different now too.
Can you hear it now?
No, you did good. Look at that. And it just goes to show you guys, you do something long enough and you start learning it. Because once upon a time when Alex had troubles with audio, I'd have to get up, and some of you guys remember this, and I'd have to run in there, hey, I'll fix it, but
well, it's because of the when the motion array was acting up, I deleted the cookies and cached to see if
so everything reverted back to default. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Can we get you on WFR Live? Do you want to get me on WFR Live?
I mean, you are a radar member.
I are a radar member. I probably should. Although I've been avoiding that subject because, it's still too early in the year for me. I'm waiting for that income tax money to start rolling so people start ordering more film and stuff. And did I mention, if you guys are not using Helios film, and I know a lot of you guys aren't, you don't know what you're missing out on. You just don't. But whatever. There's a lot of good film out there, and whatever you're using is probably fantastic. So I'm not going to knock what you're using. I'm not one of those guys. But I can tell you, I 100% trust, believe, and love working with what I'm selling. I picked it for that reason and that reason alone. I did not pick it as a businessman saying, hey, I can make money off of this, because I really don't make a lot of money off of film, because I buy better film, put it in my own boxes, and that costs money. But then I stay competitive with price, because even though I got a higher quality film, does not mean that I need to charge a higher quality price, if you know what I mean. So there's that. But one day that might change. Just not today. Yep. I are a sponsor and haven't been on, is why I asked. Yeah. It's because you guys do it so late. But I have other around the industry commitments that take some of my time, my home time, my late time away. And the wife runs the tint shop, and I run this, and we've kind of got a little thing at home that when we're done working. I mean, she puts up with the fact that I answer messages and emails and stuff like that, and the other commitment that I have, she puts up with that because it's for a good cause. But I don't want to push it too much, because I don't like her when she's mad. It's, happy wife, happy, you live longer. And yeah, Alex is going to have to go on and rep. Oh yeah, Alex has got all the school stuff going on. Because,
I'm in class during it.
No need to explain. It's called life. Well, it is, but and yeah, nobody wants to piss Mary off. She's scary, and she's really scary when she's mad. Apparently not as scary as Charles, though. You made her day yesterday when you told her that Charles was worse. But guys, with a little luck, I'm going to try to get a car in here and go over some stuff. I'm not going to promise it's going to be on a Tool Talk Tuesday. It might just be randomly, when the opportunity strikes. But then again, I'll be on the 8th for the hat bidding war. Oh, okay. Is that the one for Is that the one for Tinters for a Cause? The hat's at 2,500. That's fucking crazy. The giant hat. It makes me want a giant Helios hat. Hey, T-Town,
Jeremy's
can
gonna
you?
have a second giant hat.
Yeah, that's crazy. But guys, it is 5 o'clock, and keep a lookout. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. If you are subscribed, then don't unsubscribe or don't subscribe again because it will unsubscribe you. And that's not cool. Not that I'm looking for any kind of monetary support from YouTube, but I do want you guys to know when I go live, because Tool Talk Tuesday might become a thing of the past, and I might just randomly go live. And if you don't get notified, you don't get notified. So, good reason to subscribe and hit the like button. Maybe YouTube will think that I'm more important than I am. I don't know.
Where is it?
There
right
is
there.
right. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
over there.
it's
Yeah, right
I
down
don't
there.
know where it is. Yeah, it's right. Oops. It's right. Yeah. Well, we're not good at this sort of thing because we're not YouTubers, even though we're on YouTube. It's just how it is. But until next week, guys, or until the next time I see you.